Hey y'all, thanks for tuning back in and welcome back to the channel. This is going to be the story of my Mustang, this car, and what I've done to it. So while we're at it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. According to YouTube, I got like a ton of people that watch this channel that don't even subscribe, so please hit the subscribe button and let's get right down to it. So when I bought this car, I bought it back in 2014 and it was bone stock. Nothing done to it, nothing at all. Stock wheels, everything. But the only problem was it had engine problems, big time engine problems. Let me back up a second. The car is a 2000 model Mustang GT. It's a 2000 Mustang GT. It had 100,000 miles on it, and why it had engine trouble, I have no idea. Another thing that had me interested in buying it is it was a one-owner car. One-owner car, bone stock, nothing done to it, and the only thing was it had major engine problems. I'm talking, I think it was only running on about 6 cylinders, so it had some real problems. When you fire it up, when you crank it up, it would tut, 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 tut. I mean, it was horrible, and it would fill the neighborhood up with smoke. And I was like, oh man. But it would still run, and you know, I could actually drive the car. It wasn't necessarily fun, but I could drive it. And so I let the car sit for about 6 months. I saved up for a motor, and I bought a motor, a low mileage motor, out of a 04 Roush Mustang that was being parted out. And I just slowly built it from there over time. I mean, I got this car cheap. We're talking like $1,500 cheap. But the interior, it was a complete car. It was clean. It just, you know, being laser red, the paint was faded. So, you know, it's still cleaned up good. So I basically started working on the car from there. After about 6 months, let me back up. I actually bought the motor for this car within a couple months of ownership of this car. And then I, you know, waited, saved up to get the motor installed. And after that, it was just one thing at a time. I think the first thing, you know, was exhaust, and then I started working on the suspension, and everything else was, you know, just a little bit at a time. At that time, I was still trying to decide exactly what direction I wanted to go with this car, but I always knew that I wanted the car to be boosted. That was always the vision I had with this car. And I played around with wheels on it. I've had a few different sets of wheels on this car. And I've had a couple different suspension setups. Man, that was a pothole. to get the car exactly the way I wanted it. You know, I had a little bit of trial and error. Long story short though, once I got it running good, got it sounding good, you know, I ended up getting it painted, you know, and it's not the best paint job and it's not the worst paint job, you know. I just kind of went with a middle of the road paint job to get it looking decent. Then some more time goes by and I go with a set of custom grind blower cams. They're comp cams, custom grind. Then it's not too long after that, the next year, I went ahead and went with long tube headers and an X-pipe. And then I came across a deal on a supercharger kit, Johnny's Motorsport, the R281 kit with a Whipple 2.3. And once I found that, I knew that was the way I wanted to go. I had tossed around a lot of ideas of nitrous and Vortec, but you know, all those things are typical, and I wanted something a little different, and this Whipple kit was the answer. So it's tuned by Blankenship in Louisville, Kentucky. He's like, you know, one of the best around here. It's a 3-hour drive out of Nashville, and it's well worth it. I mean, it's making 450 to the wheels safely, you know. And this car's been boosted for over a year. The supercharger went on in June of 2022, and we're in the beginning of August of 2023, so it's doing good. I guess I'm a little all over the place with this video. I didn't rehearse it or anything. I'm just doing this on the fly, kind of telling the story of the car. But really the reason why I built this car, or put this car together the way I did, because the dream car has always been a Terminator Cobra. And you know, supporting a family, it's just not reasonable at the time to spend that kind of money on a car that's that old. I mean, I could do it, but it's just, there's a lot of other priorities in the way of doing something like that. And I still hope to own one of these days. I'm not giving up on that. It'll probably happen, I'm just not sure when. But that's kind of why this car looks the way it does, because I like the look of that car. I like the sound of that car. I like everything about it. When that car came out, it was a very popular car. It came out and it was dominating everything. They're awesome cars, and some people about, oh, it's a clone, blah blah. No, it's not a clone. It's just got some Cobra bumpers on it. It's got some Cobra parts on it. It's got some Mach 1 parts on it, as you can see. It's got a Mach 1 gauge cluster. It's got Mach 1 windows in it, the sail panels and glass. And because I like the way they look, personally I think all new edges should have those windows, just like all the SN95s had those windows. Well, not the exact same window, but similar. But anyway, this car reminds me of pretty much of high school, because when this SN95 platform came out, I was in high school. My senior year is when that car came out, and there was a lot of people that loved it, a lot of people that didn't love it. Back then I was more into the Fox bodies, but this car grew on me quick. The way they felt, the way they looked, because it was a big upgrade from a Fox body. It felt totally different, looked totally different. You know, haven't done much changes to it lately. I've added a bigger intercooler reservoir tank, and let's see, what else have I done? The Mach 1 rear deck lid panel, I took that off and went with a gloss black vinyl, because it's a cleaner look to me. So I may be offering that up for sale. Not sure yet. But yeah. But anyway, if you're new to watching this channel, please consider subscribing. This channel, it's obviously not monetized yet, but I would like for it to grow into being monetized, and you know, if it did, you know, it would probably open up a lot more opportunities to do more on the channel. And if it grew enough, you know, maybe even add another car to the channel. Perhaps a Terminator Cobra, or a 4-valve of some sort, a boosted Mach 1. I want a 4-valve, that's for sure. But for now, I'm happy with this car. This car ain't going anywhere. I've got too much invested in it. And there's a lot of time invested in, you know, money. But I did get it cheap. The car barely even ran when I bought it. And if you can picture what a bone stock 2000 model GT looks like, it looks a lot different from what this car looks like now. You know, it has side vents instead of side scoops like the 01 to 04. And it's got that little wing on the back instead of a pedestal style spoiler. and it didn't even have a hood scoop on the hood, so it was rather plain looking. I wished I'd have kept the factory wheels, because I do like that style of factory wheel that came on this car. It's just kind of like a 5-star wheel, but they just weren't big enough. But it would have been nice to, you know, keep them, so I do have them, but oh well. They're not an expensive wheel. They're for sale all the time, or you can find them for sale all the time. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video talking about the car and, you know, where it's come from. But I'll probably do another video talking about other things that are done to the car. But basically it's a stock bottom end motor. It's got a stock bottom, basically with a top end kit, like, you know, it's comp cams, custom grind blower cams with the beehive springs and retainers. The heads have had some mild work done to them, nothing crazy. The transmission is stock T45 with a Steeda Tri-X shifter. I would like to upgrade this shifter to a MGW. I feel like it would probably shift a little better. It shifts good. I don't ever experience any lockout or anything. The clutch is freshly installed. McLeod RST twin disc. The rear end is rebuilt with 373 gears. So it's solid. It's a good performing car. It's actually a really fun car. I need a little more tire out back. It's got 295s on it right now. It really needs a 315, because it will roast the tires clean off. I also upgraded the front brakes to a Cobra brake. I think that's a must on any New Edge GT. The factory brakes that come on these cars, they work okay, but if you plan on doing any spirited driving, they will fade quick. Once they get hot, they fade for sure. So I upgraded to the Cobra front brakes, and that eliminated that problem. Really now it probably needs a bigger set of brakes on it, like a Cadillac CTSV or Brembo kit, whatever. Get some adapters and throw some Cadillac brakes on it. But anyway, if you watched this far, I appreciate you watching. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button, comment, tell me what you think. I'm going to be doing some more videos, that's for sure. It's just the weather hasn't really been good for it here lately. anyway, I'll see you on the next one.